Okay, so let's get on other topics besides all the politics that are going on, right? And I've had a couple brand new drivers this week alone ask me how come I wear these glasses over top of my regular glasses. Let me explain something to you. I've been a truck driver now. Next month will be 22 years, and one of the things that I've ran into is the rising sun, the setting sun, rain, fog, snow, really bad. So one of the things that you want to have is you want to have a good pair of polarized, I say this clearly, polarized lenses. Now, another thing that people ask is how come you wear a ball cap? Because if you hold your head down when you're driving, you can block the sun, and that allows you to see a little bit further down the road. Another thing, a Bluetooth. Definitely have a Bluetooth. This Bluetooth that I have here is a Blue Parrot. I've had it now going on 6 years, and it's still going strong. I love the product. If I have to replace it due to age, I'm going to buy another Blue Parrot. I'll be honest with you, it's expensive, but it works absolutely fantastic, right? With the newer phones, you don't even have to touch your phone to make phone calls. You can say Alexa or Bixby, right, depending on which platform you're using, whether it's the iPhone or the Galaxy, and that AI will call whoever you mention, right? Another thing that new drivers ask me is how come I wear these gloves. Okay? When you're opening and closing doors, especially on containers, not so much on the 53 footers, but on containers especially, they have sharp edges on the little clamps. Okay? And if you're not paying attention 100%, you will slice your hand. And I would rather slice the glove than my hand. Not only that, but your glove gives you a better grip on your steering wheel. So if you blow a tire, anybody that's blown a tire anywhere, they know that the steering wheel is going to try and jerk out of your hand, right? And you want to have as much grip and control of that as you can. Now, that being said, do not hold your steering wheel like this. If you hold your steering wheel like this, if you blow a steer tire, you just snapped your wrist. You always want to hold your steering wheel outside the actual wheel. Even on my personal car, this is how I hold it. I hold it like this. Okay? That's a safety issue, and that is not covered, from my understanding, in any of the CDL schools, right? Why do I wear steel-toed boots? Aren't they uncomfortable? Yes, they are uncomfortable. However, when you open trailer doors or container doors, you always want to stand to the side as you open that door because freight could fall out. And if you're not wearing proper footwear, whether it be the tennis shoes with steel toes or actual boots with steel toes, you're liable to end up with a broken foot. Now you're off the road 6 to 8 weeks, depending on how bad you broke your foot. I don't know about you, But me, I can't afford 6 to 8 weeks to be off. So that's another thing that is not reiterated in trucking schools. Okay? Health. I'm 60 years old. I admit it. You can see I'm getting old. I'm getting the wrinkles, everything else from being out here on the road and in the sun and in the weather and everything else. But your health is your number one priority. So part of that is you do not want to constantly eat in the truck stops. Yes, I know that when you first start out, you need to eat in the truck stops, okay, because that's all the food that you've got. But the very first time that you go home, you want to stock your truck for a month. I say a month because most truck drivers are in this little box for 3 weeks at a time, okay? And you're not sure if you're going to run into a truck stop that does not have any food available, right? It just depends on, is it in a disaster area? Is it not in a disaster area? This is part of prepping, right? You should have this in your personal vehicle also. You should have at least one of the 72-hour kits, right? The freeze-dried kits with water. And please remember to replace that water. You know, just don't shove it in the car and forget about it. You know, you need to replace that water on a weekly basis is what I do. So you want to have that just in case, right? You want to have a bag or something that you can carry, right? The little bag. So if I have to bug out of the truck, I've got a bag ready to go, okay? I got a bag ready to go. It might not get me very far down the road before I have to replace it, but it's better than nothing, right? Another thing you want to think about, keeping in that prepper mindset, is always have something that you can double as a weapon. Because let's be real, if shift happens, people will attack people they think are weaker, right? That's just human nature, right? They're going to attack people that are weaker. Now, if you are like me, shorter and older, you're a target. Okay? Doubly so because I'm female, right? So in my truck all the time, I have a cheater bar that I use on the trailers and on the containers. And if I had to, that cheater bar is thick enough and heavy enough that if I had to use it, it would put some damage on someone. Okay? I also have a hammer, right? And on my loop, I have cordage, right? See that? I got cordage. That stays on my loop on my jeans. Now, why do I carry that? Well, it's real handy if I have to go somewhere or I got to do something and I need my hammer. I can hang my hammer through that loop, and now I've got to carry. I got a basically a holster for my hammer, right? So if I got to walk a long distance, I can carry my hammer. Okay, so it's little thoughts that you do every day that you don't think about, right? Another thing you always see me wear when I'm driving is I always have a safety vest on. Why do I bother with a safety vest, right? Because you get into places like I'm at right now where trucks are coming back and forth constantly, right? Let's be real here. Some drivers do not pay as much attention as they should. And if you don't have a vest on, they can run you over. You're a bump, right? So a safety vest is I highly recommend that whenever you go to work, without even thinking about it, just put your safety vest on and you're ready to go to work, right? Now, if you're in your truck and you're driving down the road, you don't have to wear your steel toes if you don't want to, right? You don't have to wear your safety vest if you don't want to, right? But when you get out of the truck, you should have those on. Now, I'm speaking to some of the newer drivers because I've seen it quite frequently where they're wearing clogs, they're wearing flip-flops, they're wearing open-toe sandals. I'm just going to show you this parking lot. You see this parking lot? You see all the trash in this parking lot? Yes, I'm picking up trash. Okay? I'm doing a paper load. So it's trash here. When you get out of the truck, if you have sandals on or flip-flops on, and there's nails or metal or anything of that nature on the ground, the likelihood that you're going to cut your foot increases. So yes, I understand that you want to be comfortable while you're driving the truck. Trust me, I understand that. But there has to be a fine line between comfort and safety. Okay? Same thing in your personal vehicle. I understand you want to be comfortable, you want to, you want to look nice, and you want to wear your heels, and and be nice looking whenever you're going somewhere. I get that. But you should always have the ability to put on something, some kind of footwear that you can go, if you have to walk a mile or two, you've got something that you can wear to do that with, right? That's, to me, that's common sense, right? It's just common sense, right? I always carry a pocket knife. Why? Because of my pocket knife, I can use that to cut wood up, and with my lighter, I can start a fire, right? So you will always find me, no matter where I'm at, I'm always going to have a pocket knife and a lighter on me. Now, understandably, I smoke. So, how long that lighter will last, I don't know, right? But it's better to have it than not, right? Better to have it than not. I always carry a bottle of water. I might not drink it during the day, but I've got a bottle of water. It can go in my pocket and off I go, right? This is especially true when it's hot out. I normally carry 2 bottles of water, to be honest with you. Trash bag. I always carry a trash bag, an extra trash bag. Why do I carry an extra trash bag? Well, what if I find some stuff I want to carry and my bag is already full? Well, now I can pull that trash bag out, and now I've got 2 bags, right? Or what if I have to eat some of my food that I've brought with me? What am I going to do with the trash? Because let's not just leave it in the environment, be responsible, right? But my main thing is trucking, right? I do trucking every day. I've done it for 22 years. And a lot of the drivers that I see coming out of the schools now are not taught very well. Some of them said that they went through the school and they never got to back up. How in the world are you going to do this job if you don't know how to back up? Because some of the places I go to back up is ridiculous. I mean, the trailer shouldn't even be there, right? Yeah, that's some of the conversations I had this week with some of these newer drivers, uh, trying to give them tips, right? Always, before you ever pull out of a truck stop, always double check your tandem pin, your fifth wheel pin, and your airlines and light cord. Always double check that. Just do a quick walk around of the truck. Always double check that your trailer's doors are locked shut, both top and bottom. I've seen several trailers here lately that the bottoms were locked, but the tops weren't, right? Top of the trailer wasn't locked. If you got heavy load, let's say you got a big heavy load on palletized load that's big and heavy, and you have to slam on the brakes. Well, if that load is not secured properly, it's going to hit that door. And if that door only has the bottom latches on, it can very easily snap, because really the only thing holding that bottom latch is a little screw holding it to that pole, right? So if enough weight hits it, that door is going to come open. So you want to increase the likelihood that that trailer door will stay shut, right? So you always want to double check, make sure it's locked at the top and the bottom. And you should be doing a walk around anyway before you ever pull out of anywhere. Every time you do it, right? Every trailer you hook to, every time you do it. Now, one of my tips on doing a pre-trip and doing a fast pre-trip is do it the same way, exactly the same way every time. If you do it the same way every time, it'll become a routine. And whenever something doesn't look right, it's gonna jump out at you like a snake, because you're gonna see it immediately that something ain't right. So you do the pre-trip exactly the same way every time. And if you get distracted by something or other, somebody comes over, says hi to you, starts talking to you, stop at the point that you're at, go back and restart the pre-trip when that conversation is over with. That way you don't miss anything, right? Always double check to make sure the little bar on your fifth wheel pin is locked. Because it'll look like your fifth wheel pin is locked, but that bar ain't across that fifth wheel pin. So your trailer's not locked in. And there's nothing more embarrassing than pulling out from underneath a trailer and having it fall, right? Because now you're going to be cranking for days to get that trailer back up, or you just collapse the landing gear, right? Now you got a big situation, right? But I hope this helps some people, to think about, carry a bag in your personal vehicle that's got water and 72 hours of food, right? Always have some kind of protection, right? I don't care if it's a hammer, right? Always carry something, right? Always have something. Always have some kind of eye protection, right? Polarized lenses, right? They're really good for your eyes, and it gives you a better distance to see. Okay, that's from experience. And, have good walking shoes and clothing for the area and the weather, right? Now, as you can see, I'm wearing my fleece today because, it dropped down this morning. It was down in the 40s, and it's not getting up above probably about 60 today, right? Which for some of y'all, that's like, oh, that's summer weather. Okay, yeah. For me, no, it's not summer weather. Okay, so you always want to have some kind of clothing appropriate for the area that you're in, right? Simple things. If you take medications, right? you want to keep medications in your vehicle, right? For a couple days anyway, right? So they make these little pill things, it's Saturday, Saturday all the way through to Sunday, right? Saturday to Saturday, right? And they make them, and just keep that filled, and just keep it with you, right? Now, one thing I have noticed is, especially in the summertime, I'm allergic to bees. So I guarantee you, in my truck, at all times, I have Benadryl, right? At all times, right? So that's something that, depending on your situation, what you need to store, it ain't gotta be this huge pack, right? It ain't gotta be this huge pack. You can have a couple cans of food, like Chef Boyardee, right? Which you can eat straight out of the can, trust me, I know. Right? Maybe some Vienna sausages, some crackers, right? That's a meal, right? It's something to keep you going, to get to wherever you're going, right? A jacket, right? Your jacket could be rainproof or not. That's up to you, right? Some medications, simple for your area, like I said, Benadryl, right? My high blood pressure medicines and my diabetes medicines. I keep that, right? Just in case, because you never know. You never know. And a first aid kit. Now, I highly recommend that you go and look at Refuge Medical for their first aid kits, because they are the best on the market that I have found. But for those of you who don't have a lot of money, you can make your own first aid kit. It's just not going to be as comprehensive as the one at Refuge Medical. I guarantee you that. Right? Basic first aid. Do you know basic first aid? Right? A cut. If you're out in the woods and you cut yourself for whatever reason, that can become infected very quickly. Okay? So you want to think of these small little things, right? A good trick to do is, you're at work, right? And before you leave work, you clocked out and everything. And before you leave work, you sit there and you go, okay, hey, a nuclear weapon just went off and set off an EMP. So my vehicle doesn't run. What do I got? I've only got what's in the vehicle. What do I got? What do I got? What do I got? Do this. Take that extra 15, 20 minutes every day and kind of do that. But my main topic this morning was about trucking. I really have run into people who haven't been trained. Now, when I started driving, if I tried to drive with the knowledge that they have now, I would have failed. I'm just gonna put that bluntly. I would have failed, right? Some of the things that some of these drivers get away with, I would have failed, and I would not have gotten my CDL if I had done it, right? So we're all, once you get your CDL, you're considered a professional driver, and you need to act like it, and you need to dress like it, and get over the attitude about your dispatcher. Let's be honest, okay? Dispatchers don't give a crap about you. The only thing they're concerned about is the loads that they got to move for their company. They don't care about you. They don't care if you're making money or not. That's the truth. And some of y'all need to hear that. Because some of these dispatchers will ask you to do illegal things, and it screws up your license and your future. And then when you do it, if God forbid you get in an accident or something happens, they're going to say, I never told them to do that. Yep. So you got to be a little bit responsible, right? But some of the safety issues, you know, on a day-to-day basis, you need to address those safety issues, because honestly, when I go to a shipper or receiver, I quite honestly, I do not want to see your titties. Yes, I said it. I said it. I don't care if you are male. I don't want to see your titties. No more than I want to see a woman's titties. I don't want to see your toes. I'm not married to you. Why are you showing that toe fungus to me? I don't want to see it. Now think about that. I'm another truck driver telling you this and being honest with you. And you wonder why these shipper and receivers have bad attitudes? It's because of people like you. They come in there looking like you just come off the beach with your flip-flops and short shorts and no shirt on. How is that professional? That's not professional. Now, if you want to drive butt naked down the highway, that's your choice. But the minute you go in to check into a shipper or receiver, you should have clothes on and closed-toe shoes. Now, I don't care if that's a dress. I don't care if that's a three-piece suit. Right? But you should look professional. Because that's one of the reasons why our trucking industry has gotten a bad name. It's because people are not acting like professionals. If you go to a customer's house to install their plumbing, you are not going to show up dressed like you just came off the block. You're going to show up like you're ready to work, right? You should treat these shippers and receivers the same way. They are your customers. You treat your customers right, you'll get more freight, more pay. Hello? Isn't that what we're out here for? More pay. So, I really thought hard about making this video, but I think it needs to be said, because I understand that some of you don't like to take showers away from the house. Would you walk into your grandmama's house smelling like that? Would you walk into a multi-million-dollar office smelling like that? Think about that. I want you to think about that. I want you to think hard about that. Would you walk in front of a judge wearing what you're wearing right now? Okay? Because let me tell you something, you get in an accident, what you're wearing is what you're going to be standing in front of that judge wearing. And if you look like you just come off the block, and you're supposed to be a professional driver, I guarantee you, if you tell the prosecutor that you had flip-flops on, the prosecutor's going to say that flip-flop slipped off your foot, got up underneath the fuel pedal or underneath the brake pedal, and that caused you not to be able to stop. Boom. Your fault. Telling you truth. So, hope that helps you. It needs to be said, and y'all need to hear it from somebody who actually does the job, right? Because a lot of these people out here saying, "Oh, you can make $100,000 a year," bullshit. I'm just gonna tell you honestly, that's bullshit. It's bullshit, right? Realistically, you're gonna make 35 to 50,000 a year in your hand. Realistically, some of you a little bit more because you own operators, and going along with that, you're gonna have all the bills that go along with owning your own truck, right? And you know, but realistically, most drivers out here 35 to 50,000 a year. That's a realistic expectation. But that's what I had for you today, and it's Thursday, so yeah, bicycle.